welcome to Season 2 Spark edition of Investment Insider, brought to you by Invest Selangor. My name is Cynthia Ng, your host for this series. In this episode, we will be taking a closer look at Northport, Malaysia Berhad, operator of 2 terminals in Port Klang, Northport and South Point. And together with Westports, they handle the 12th busiest seaport in the world. Joining me now is Datuk Azman Shah Muhammad Yusof, who has been the CEO of Northport since 2016. He has been leading the transformation of Northport. It's great to have you here, Datuk Azman, and welcome to the show. Now, if I may start with Northport's performance, the group reported record-breaking conventional cargo throughput in May, the highest since August 2013. Can you talk to us about what contributed to this encouraging volume?
There were several factors that led to our record-breaking conventional cargo performance for the month of May. So there was a recovery in demand for exports of commodities such as palm oil and also biomass. And there was also an uptick in imports of iron and steel and also grains. So over the last few years, we've undertaken a comprehensive restructuring of our conventional cargo operations at Northport. And also at South Point. And we had improved our productivity for handling of grains, for example, commodity of corn, where we can handle bigger vessels and reach productivity levels of more than 10,000 tons per weather working day. And we created additional space also to accommodate breakbulk cargo. So, and also for the record, we also broke our highest ever monthly container handling throughput in December 2020 when we recorded 310,865 TEUs. So basically, we've broken both records, container and conventional. In achieving both these record-breaking feats, simply put, we just optimize whatever resources that we have and we improve the way we did things, and team spirit did all the rest.
Very well said. Keeping the team spirit alive is crucial, especially during the pandemic. On that note, Datuk Azman, how has the pandemic impacted maritime trade? And with economies starting to open up again, how is Northport positioned to benefit from this?
Beginning July last year, we have been benefiting from the spike in demand as countries begin to open up and economic activities begin to resume at full swing in some countries. And because of this, there has been imbalance as far as trade is concerned. This has led to a shortage of containers, higher freight rates across the globe. And this has also led to congestion issues in many ports, including our competitors and ourselves. So whilst we are still suffering from congestion issues because of the fact that some ports in other countries are or have had to shut down due to bad weather or COVID-19 infection, these issues will continue Well, in our case, the business looks like it will continue to be good, but it won't be following the same growth trajectory as the first half of the year. Notwithstanding all of this, I think 2021 will still be a very good year for Northport. We still hope to achieve double-digit growth in throughput.
That sounds wonderful. What is Northport's strategy then, Datuk, to retain these new customers that came on board during the pandemic as we slowly return to something closer to what it was pre-pandemic and as supply chain starts to normalize again?
Well, customer retention will be our biggest challenge once normality resumes in the global economy. We've identified our key strategies and we've developed a 5-year master plan. Basically, there are 3 main areas of focus. To focus our strength on local gateway cargo, to take advantage of our location, to focus on intra-Asia trade, to capitalize on the suitability of our equipment, our facilities, and the size of vessels that apply this route. And also to develop ourselves as a regional distribution hub, where we are working closely with Invest Selangor to turn Port Klang into a regional gateway and Selangor into a regional powerhouse. So our 5-year plan includes optimization of our resources, building new warehouses. We completed 3 new warehouses during the pandemic, refurbishing some of the older ones, and introducing new facilities and improved processes so that we can ensure that our services and productivity meets our customers' requirement, therefore retaining them here in Northport.
So, Datuk, how does Northport aim to improve its services and productivity? If you can share with us some of the initiatives that are being implemented in Northport.
Okay. Well, before I came here, I used to be the CEO of the country's largest coal terminal. And over there, it's all about productivity and reliability. So I adopted the same approach at Northport in terms of our operations. So for example, in dry bulk, we converted several of our senior key cranes into grab cranes. And then we improved the handling flow and the processes of the cargo movement within the port, and made improvements to our wharf, which allowed vessels with higher tonnage to be able to berth there. So all of this actually led to higher productivity levels. In the case of our car terminal for roll-on, roll-off cargo, basically we created a dedicated yard for both automobiles and high and heavy equipment like excavators and tractors. We improved the processes. We invested in security, including setting up an integrated drone and CCTV surveillance system. And all of this actually gave confidence to customers to use Northport. Basically, there will be more initiatives and capital expenditure are being planned to further improve to cater for more conventional cargo growth. Yeah.
Now, speaking of growth, Datuk Azman, one area that is seeing soaring demand is the halal food segment. And as such, demand for halal logistics to ensure the integrity of products across the entire supply chain, that will rise too. So how is Northport responding to this emerging segment?
Okay, we call our initiative the Halal Silk Route. It's a pet project of ours. Based on our research, we found that Malaysia's exporters face many obstacles to market and export their products. So we studied the value chain. And together with our partners, we developed a one-stop solution where we can cost-effectively help the exporters with documentation, with custom clearance processes at the destination countries. The Halal Silk Route initiative also works both ways. Manufacturing companies in other countries are keen to either export to Malaysia or set their own facilities in Malaysia to benefit from Malaysia's competitive advantage and expertise in the halal industry. So also at the same time, through Invest Selangor, we've been able to contribute our ideas to the state government, especially during the formalization of the Selangor Halal Master Plan a couple of years ago. So this is certainly a segment that we are focusing on.
All right, thank you so much for giving us that insight, Datuk Azman. We will take a quick break now. Coming up, we want to take a look at Northport's venture into the cruise segment. Stay tuned.
Invest Selangor organised project coordination meeting chaired by Selangor State Exco for Investment and Trade and attended by relevant agencies to identify and solve the matters raised by investors. And for any unsolved issues from project coordination meeting, then will be presented to the state government through the State Economic Action and Council meeting or NTES for the state government direct consideration and decision.
Welcome back to Investment Insider with me, Cynthia Ng. Joining me now is Datuk Azman Shah, CEO of Northport Malaysia Berhad. Datuk, in March this year, Northport, through its subsidiary KPM, acquired Bousted Cruise Centre in a joint deal with Westports worth 230 million ringgit. Can you talk to us about your plans to go into the business of managing a cruise terminal, an industry that was one of the hardest hit by the pandemic?
Well, we how should I say, unofficially involved in the cruise business. Yeah? Yes, we understand and we realize that the cruise business has been severely affected by COVID-19 pandemic. But prior to that, due to busted cruise terminals wharf limitations, both Northport and Westport have had to berth cruise vessels and even Navy vessels at our wharves. Also, Bowsted Cruise Centre has got the attributes of a multi-purpose terminal. There's about 600 meters to 800 meters additional quay length that you can actually build. At any point in time, both Northport and Westport were involved and interested to acquire the terminal. So when the opportunity arose, when we heard that Bowsted was keen to sell, I approached Datuk Ruben of Westport and said, why don't we work together on this? I've never believed that Port Klang should be a zero-sum game. Obviously, there are parts of the port business that we have to compete and we will compete, but there are others that we can complement and cooperate for the benefit of Port Klang, Selangor and the nation. At the same time, we'll also study what else we can do there to benefit Port Klang and the nation. And this investment will be operated independently with its own P&L.
We certainly look forward to this collaboration and the return of the cruise industry in Malaysia. Now, if I may turn our discussion to leadership in times of crisis. Datuk, can you share with us the lessons learned 1.5 years into the pandemic? How does Northport continue to stay resilient?
So, if I was to share a few key lessons, I would say first lesson, business continuity plan or your emergency response plan must be a living document. You must regularly update, amend, strengthen to keep it relevant, to keep up with the times, and all possible scenarios need to be covered. In the case of our COVID-19 business continuity plan, we've had 8 editions already. We learn as much as we can from the authorities, from other countries, to further strengthen our business continuity plan and thinking about what to do in this pandemic.
Thank you for the insight, Dato. I would also like to get your thoughts on the role of state promotion agencies like Invest Selangor and how has the agency helped Northport in growing its business?
Well, we've got a very strong working relationship with Invest Selangor. Through them, we've been introduced to many business leads, especially through the Selangor International Business Summit. We have been participating in SIBS since its inception as exhibitor, sponsor, panel speaker, and presenter. They also included us in focus group discussions pertaining to the State Industrial Master Plan development, as well as the Halal Master Plan group discussions, and we've been able to channel our ideas and give constructive feedback. So it is a very strong working relationship that we have with Invest Selangor.
And that's very good to know. Now finally, Dato, before we let you go, can you share with us Northport's outlook and long-term growth plans?
So, our strategies include optimization of resources, digitalization, process innovation, replacing aging equipment, building new warehouses and facilities, integrating value chains by working closely with exporters, importers, forwarding agents, shipping lines and hauliers. We're also in the market. We're looking for land to expand our footprint in the neighboring area because we definitely need to expand our facilities. At the same time, our overall objective, basically apart from improving our productivity, is basically to make Northport a safer, a greener, smarter and better port, and so that we can actually sustain the growth.
That sounds great, and I wish you all the best with your plans. Thank you, Datuk Azman, for being with us, and we look forward to more great developments from Northport. You have been watching Investment Insider with me, Cynthia Ng. Thank you for tuning in.
Selangor is the most attractive investment destination. Find out how we can assist you at www.investselangor.my. Join us again in the next episode.